Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Little King story playthrough. So, last time we built the jump cannon, which means that we can go to either the Ripe Kingdom or the Kingdom of the Jolly whenever we like. Now, I would do that immediately, but I would prefer to have an improved form of soldier before I do that. Just so that we've got a little bit more, oomph behind our attacks. I think once we've reached there, we should be able to take on anything that awaits us. But we don't actually have the ability to get that right now. So, I think it's time to expand a little bit. So, we are going to change up our party a little bit. Well, our royal guard, I should say. Shove in more soldiers and hunters. Because that's pretty much all we are going to need right now, is just entirely soldiers and hunters. A lumberjack is kinda nice, but certainly not necessary, considering we've already smashed the thing that is going to allow us to get into where the Guardian UMA is waiting for us. Obviously, I really could have just picked up any old careless adult and given them a job, so that I didn't have to take in my lumberjack, but really, this is not going to be a difficult fight for you. In fact, I would say it's a pretty easy fight, all things considered. So, if we we already picked up the quest quite a while ago. It became available, I think, almost as soon as we beat the Oni King. But we haven't done anything to deal with it, purely because, well, there was no need. And, so we're going to send in one of our carpenters into there, and we get a Mega Carpenter! Now, the Mega Carpenters are obviously better carpenters. They do things much more quickly, and so that is just really helpful. But hopefully I don't accidentally get him killed in his first day out as a Mega Carpenter. Because once we run over here, obviously if we picked up the quest, there's a Guardian UMA waiting for us, and oh how I have missed this tune. It is the Owl Hag. Now this fight is quite fun. Essentially the way that you go about taking her down is attacking these totem poles. If you manage to take one of the poles down while she is standing on top of it, then she will plummet to the ground and be stunned for a time being, which means that you can just then focus all your attention on her. But also it doesn't really matter if you don't, because as long as you are destroying the totem poles, what will happen is that she will have to then teleport to the ground, at which point you can just send in your soldiers with impunity. And there's not actually a whole lot she can do to attack you, because all she actually does is send forward her fierce owls, and if you've got your hunters on the ball, then your hunters are probably going to be dealing with those fierce owls anyway. So, really, this is a dead easy fight. The only irritant is that she's very, very fond of teleporting about. But obviously you can develop a situation where she's got really very little that she can actually do. I mean, already she's down to about a quarter of her health left, so she isn't going to last for much longer. Hopefully, I can get her to... No, that didn't work. So, I'm just going to have to wait for her to teleport to the ground, like now, and then charge! This is the bit where it gets a little bit annoying, because she doesn't tend to pause all that long, so you've got mere seconds before she vanishes again. Obviously, if you've got, well, if your hunters have still got arrows, then they can attack her wherever she is. But right about now, it's our soldiers who are going to be doing most of the damage. But there we go! The Owl Hag is defeated! Booyah! Oh, it makes me feel so good! Progress is happening! The world is being dominated by us! Beautiful! Rather sadly, after this point in the game, none of the Guardian UMA that we take down are going to lead to festivals afterwards. I suppose once you've taken down the king of another kingdom, just taking down a Guardian UMA just sort of loses a bit of its magic. So, in Gourmet Town, you don't really get a whole lot of stuff that you need to build, because it's just another place to get gourmet cooks. But why would you need to do that? Because you've already got the one in the Royal City, and it's cheaper to get the Culinary Academy there than it is to get the thing in Gourmet Town. So, that's all good. Now, we are changing up our Royal Guard a little bit, because we're going to take down another Guardian UMA today. Because really, this is the one that I need to defeat to make any reasonable amount of progress. Because really, it's quite important. Because in the area that we're going to free, we are going to have a new place to get, well, a better type of soldier. So, it's a necessity, really, that we take down this next Guardian UMA. But first off, we are going to turn these two people into hunters, because I need some more hunters for what we're about to do. And then we're going to head all the way back to roughly where we fought the Owl Hag. But there is an area of that we haven't actually explored yet. And I love that Skinny Ray just sort of cycles about like there's no tomorrow. It's kind of odd that, you know, you've got bicycles in this fantasy kingdom. It does seem like a little bit of an anachronism. But then, considering some of the stuff we're going to be seeing later on, I think I can cope with a bike. Now, if you send in your soldiers to a certain house, I could have sworn it was the pink one. But, maybe I'm wrong. Basically, one of them has an art piece waiting for you, which is nice. Oh, here's one! Yay! So there is art piece number 95, Lulu. Obviously, since we don't have any carpenters on us, we're not going to be able to do anything about that. But it's fine. And yeah, I have to say, I really like the design of Gourmet Town. It's nice and pretty and fun, and god damn it, Mr. M, get out of me way. I need to collect more tax. Now, yep, there we go. I knew that place was hiding something. It's just like, cheeky blighters! Wouldn't give us the first time round. But only once, you know, we go in there again, did they actually go, oh yeah, we actually had something for you. Cheeky blighters. Now, if we destroy that bin, then we get a bow, which is going to be very useful because, as you can probably guess, it is a treasure. And that treasure is going to be pretty helpful. But we head over here to where this stump is, and we have another Guardian UMA! This is Ogre Ergo. At least I'm pretty sure that's what his name is. We'll double check that in a second. So yes, this is the Ogre Ergo, and for the first part of the fight, he's pretty much a massive coward. He'll just run away and do nothing to you. But once you have caught up with him and managed to cause some damage, there are moments where he will become enraged. There's nothing you can do to hurt him, and he'll just throw his meat cleaver at you. And that meat cleaver can do major amounts of damage. So really, you are going to want to have a team solely of soldiers and hunters, and you're going to want to master running around in a very tight circle. Because if you do this, then there is actually nothing that Ogre Ergo can do to actually hurt you, which is really helpful. And you should always know that he will only ever, I think, do 2 swings of that meat cleaver. So, it's very easy to time. It is possible to have trouble with this fight, because if you get hit by that flying meat cleaver, it can just lay waste to your citizens. And in fact, on an earlier version of this day, because I ended up having to re-record it, because I lost so many people to this guy, and I was just like, I can't be having that. I'm so close to reaching my eternal goal. It's like, I can't allow it to stay like that. It's alright to get a little bit bruised up, but I wanted to try and show that I was a skilled Little King story player. And because it is possible to get through this fight without a single bit of damage on you. And we are very, very, very nearly done with him. There is a whole question that I think people have of, is the Ogre Ergo actually human? Because you can sort of see a grey hair or a bit of ponytail out the back. So, it's a bit like, oh, is this someone playing a little bit of a weirdo? Playing a trick on us, perhaps? We will never know, because the Ogre Ergo is dead. Hell yes! So, now that the Torn Forest is free of UMA, we can expand further, and I honestly can't wait for this. Because we really, really, really need to do this. And all that treasure! It's beautiful. So, beating Ogre Ergo unlocks Soldier Town. And in Soldier Town is the Veterans Barracks. And that is what we want to get. So, we're not going to be spending any more because we need to go out and save up some money to try and expand. Because I want to get that Veterans Barracks. And I want to get, I think, it's about 10 hardened soldiers. Essentially, we'll be shoveling most of our standard guard through the whole thing. And that's going to be glorious. Because then they will be extra powerful, they'll have more health than ever, and it's just going to be beautiful. But obviously we need the ball for that, and that means that we've got to do a little bit more messing about. Don't worry though, we are very, very, very nearly there. But for the time being, we're just going to pop over to Soldier Town and have a little rummage about and see what awaits us. And whilst I'm doing that, I think I might as well have a little bit of talk about ogres and hags and all that, just to have a bit of something different. So obviously ogres are legendary monsters that are large, hideous, man-like, meant to eat human beings, mostly infants and children, because why not? And what's quite fun is that actually what often happens is that ogres are linked quite closely with giants and human cannibals. So in both folklore and fiction you get giants that often have ogreish traits. So you've got like Jack and the Beanstalk and Jack the Giant Killer, apparently the giant Despair in the Pilgrim's Progress, and Jotnar of Norse mythology. While ogres can be given giantess traits, so they can be made big and all that jazz. Obviously, like the most famous ogres probably about right now are Shrek and Fiona from Shrek, because that was the thing that actually my mind made. That gave me a picture of an ogre, and it's never quite changed since then. But yeah. Now, funnily enough, this is me being a medieval literature lover. Apparently, the earliest use of the word ogre actually comes in Chrétien de Troyes' late 12th century verse romance, Percival, Le Comte de Graal, or Le Comte de Graal, del Graal, or something. Basically, the story of the Grail. Because it has the lines, and this is going to be horrendous French. Et c'est écrit que il est encore que tous les hommes de l'ogre, qui jadis fut la terre as ogres, est détruite par celle lance. Which, awful French, forgive me. But basically it means, and it is written that he will come again to all the realms of Loga, or Logres, or whatever, known as the land of ogres, and destroy them with that lance. So, Chrétien, you'll always be there for me when I need you. But then you've got the whole thing of hags, obviously mostly witches and stuff. But I actually typed in Owl Hag, because obviously that's the name of the Guardian UMA that we face down. And something came up called Lilith, which is a figure in Jewish mythology that is generally thought to derive in part from a historically far earlier class of female demons. The word which is Lilitu, which is found in Mesopotamian religion and found in a variety of things. But what's interesting is that in Hebrew language texts, the term Lilith, or Lilith, translates as night creatures, or night monster, or, more importantly, night hag, or screech owl. So there's this whole thing of a female demon that has some sort of relation to owl in its name, and I just find that to be a really interesting little point. It's nothing particularly important. I don't think anything in Little King's story has any relation to this demon, but it's just nice to have that sort of thing about. I mean, obviously owls are sort of, well, they're nocturnal beasts, and well, nocturnal birds, I should say, and they've got a whole slightly well, very varied symbolism about them, because you've got a lot of things where they're wisdom, but then they can also be seen as harbingers of bad luck, ill health, or death. And it depends on whereabouts in the world you are as to what they actually stand for. Because obviously, Europe tends to see the owl as a wise creature, and I mean, that is mostly linked to the fact that in ancient Greece, the owl was a symbol for Athena, who's obviously the patron goddess of wisdom, and Athens, well, Athens is patron goddess and the goddess of wisdom, so that's important. But then if you look at African cultures, that's where there's the whole harbinger of bad luck. And in Native American culture, they are a symbol of death and supernatural danger. So I don't quite know what the symbolism of owls is like in Japan, but perhaps there is a similar link there. But just thought that was a fun, interesting little bit of information that you may not have known. It's something to talk about these days whilst I try and raise up enough money to get those hardened soldiers. But yes, we've made the veterans' barracks, which means that I'm going to turn as many of my grunt soldiers into hardened soldiers as is possible. And then, oh, it's so good that this is happening. Then we are finally going to go and take on one of the kingdoms, which I honestly can't wait for. Okay, obviously I'm going to go pick up a little bit more money because I think I still need more. But once that is done, yeah, then we're going to go get those hardened soldiers and actually do something. And also, it said only grounds, didn't it? Yeah, that's something that I did far too often. I was just like, let's go to the Oni grounds. Like, oh, I know where that is. That's like that's the entrance to where we fought Oni King. Nope, it's where we fought the Oni Man, and it's not actually quite there. It's here, where the babysitter Oni is waiting for us. So let's just go in, be as reckless as we like, because I don't care. We've got the veteran barracks built. As long as we get enough money to build those, well, train those hardened soldiers, I am all good. Because then I get to talk about all the fun stuff to do with the kings and various kings in Little King Story are a major highlight. And even though this bit of the game is quite slow, as soon as we start taking down the kings and it starts to ramp up a bit, oh, there's so much fun to be had. So very much fun. But yeah, at this point I just got a little bit bored with this battle. I was just like, come on, hurry up, I just want the goodies. Give up the ghost, give me me money, and then we never have to speak again. And there we go. So we've got all of that. It's probably not quite going to be enough to get all the soldiers I would like. We'll just have to do a little bit more pickup on the way back to the castle. And then hopefully we will have enough, and then I can go actually get what I need to. Also, since we're over here, I kind of wussed out of taking on Yvonne, because I just thought, she's going to have a load of health, and was just terrified of losing my soldiers. But now that, you know, we've actually had to face her down again, and that was forced upon me, I had no choice in the matter, I realised that regular enemy Yvonne is not actually that bad. So I'm going to pick up the goodie treasure that was waiting on that little peninsula. because it's going to come in very handy. So there's Yvonne. Quickly just need to ram everyone onto her just to try and stop her from eating and actually killing anybody. Perfect! And now... oh, there's 2 Yvonnes! And... ah, for God's sake. I'm sorry, Lunasa Duck. I hardly knew you. Hopefully she doesn't pass away forever as well, because otherwise that would be awful. But either way, we have a type of spear. This is the parasol. And the reason it's very helpful is because it does exactly the same thing as the Cupid bow. It has the chance of paralysing anything that gets hit by it. So you're definitely going to want to give that to one of your soldiers, because they're going to cause havoc with it, and it is going to be amazing. Yes, I don't know what you're doing going down here past me. There is literally nothing waiting for you, because we've already gotten the haunted zone over there. But there we go. Let's go cash everything in, rest up for the day, and hopefully, tomorrow, we can go take on one of the kings. If not, we're going to have to do a little bit more grinding, but once that's all sorted, we will definitely be taking on the kings, and the game's finally going to go somewhere. Also, I don't quite know what I was doing there. Something odd just crept through my mind, but either way, let's go to bed. See you in the morning.